So, my friends, welcome to a new crypto update video. Bitcoin at 117,800 US dollars. After we really struggled yesterday afternoon and into the evening, Nvidia actually ended up surprising us in a positive way. The numbers were pretty good overall, except for, earnings per share, which were just okay. Revenue, or rather sales, have increased. The outlook was also presented as very, very good by the CEO. Then, last night, there was news that the tariffs are off the table for now. They were set aside by the Global Trade Court for the time being. Let's see what else happens over the course of the day, but for now, things are looking positive. I'm curious to see how the US market will open today. Now, let's definitely take a look at the charts to see what needs to be considered and what might still be possible. So make sure to stick around until the end. But before we get started, please give the video a like. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and of course, feel free to join the free Telegram talk and Signal group. If you're interested in updates, news, and signals, or new videos like yesterday's new Chainlink video, feel free to join. You'll find the free link for that down in the video description. And if you're still looking for an exchange where you can trade everything we talk about here, including DEX and Forex, you can now do all of that on my partner exchange, BingX. The link for that is also down in the video description. Plus, by doing so, you support the channel, or rather, you support me. Alright, Bitcoin at 177,900 US dollars. As you can see, I've drawn the symmetrical triangle here. You could say it's a bit clearer now. We're definitely in a consolidation phase. Yesterday, the market was under a bit of pressure, at least until the evening. Then the Nvidia numbers came out, which were actually a bit more positive, or at first a bit mixed, but the outlook wasn't really bad either. That's why the markets were pulled upward at first. Last night, it went up to 188,400 US dollars, or rather, just about 188,500. We haven't completely closed the inefficiency yet. It's around 188,700 US dollars, but for now, we definitely have strong support. As long as the 107,000 US dollars hold up sustainably, so this area down here, it looks good that we still have a chance to at least attack this red block up here, or even go higher toward 116,000 US dollars. But for me, that's still pretty much the maximum. At the moment, I'm just not expecting anything more than that. Let's take a look at the news situation. So, as I said, Trump global tariffs deemed illegal, blocked by trade court. That came out last night, as information that, for now, it's off the table. Then there was more news. You heard, Musk he stepped down from Dodge. He had to after 130 days. He's not allowed to stay longer. That's why he's currently not active there anymore, even though there have already been talks about possibly extending it. But it's only because of US legislation. So, nothing really, dramatic. More important to me, Nvidia's numbers were solid. That could definitely push the markets up today. Who posted it? Yeah. Nvidia is already up 4% in after-hours trading. Very, very strong. Yesterday, there was that spike downward right before the numbers came out, and then it shot up nicely. The funding rates also look really, really good, so we might see one last upward move by the end of the month. So, in fact, there are even more short positions than long ones in some cases. I also really, really like that, which will just support the theory that we're going to see another buy up here, and then possibly a fake out or breakout into the area up here where this red box is. Depending, if we set a rough target here, that would mean a breakout point at 114. If you pull it further back, then it would probably be 116 here. So that's roughly the zone I've been wanting to see for a while now, or rather, the one that's the most interesting to me for possibly selling off more BTC or even doubling down on the short position here. Let's take a quick look at the heat map. Here too, we can clearly see 110, 112, 113. These are the brands that are currently very, very popular. We've already picked up most of it down below, and it doesn't matter which time frame we're looking at here. I hope it keeps loading now. Yeah, looks like it's working. On the 12-hour chart, there's also more liquidity up top, and interestingly, if we look at the weekly, if it loads. I don't know, Coinic has been lagging a bit for the past 2 days. I don't know what's causing it, but whatever. Anyway, the weekly also had a lot of liquidity up top, at least before I recorded this video. It loaded, but well, that's just how it is now. In any case, most of the liquidity is currently up top. That means the breakout here with the final pump could fill into this zone up here. That would fit with the good numbers. And of course, if the US stock markets also open positively today, especially with the whole terrorist situation, that could lead us to new all-time highs. Alright, let's move on to the altcoins. Ethereum, finally. After there was some struggle here again yesterday, especially in the evening, everything dipped a bit again yesterday, but the pivot held. That means the 2,612 level held perfectly down here. Then the upswing came during the night. We hit the first smaller resistance zone. Let's quickly switch to the 4-hour time frame. This was the inefficiency here. The first one got filled. That was the blue line. Then there was a bit of a struggle for a moment, but now things could get interesting because we've broken through the resistance we marked yesterday to the upside. That means our target, if everything holds here, including the pivot points and everything else, could really be up around 3,000 US dollars. That means the second inefficiency up here could still get filled. We already talked about that yesterday. In my opinion, that would be the end of the line for now on the daily chart. So this zone up here would definitely be very, very suitable for possibly taking the first profits or at least keeping an eye on it. The maximum, which we also talked about yesterday, would be 3,400 US dollars. But in my opinion, the markets would have to go completely crazy for that to happen. Especially since we've already had this huge impulse with Ethereum. To be honest, I don't really expect that we'll see another such wild surge anytime soon. So for me personally, the maximum here is around 3,200. Of course, the 1.618 or the profit zone would be in the golden pocket. But for me, 3,200 US dollars is pretty much the limit for now. But we'll see how far we actually go and whether the momentum continues to be this positive throughout the day. It's a holiday in Germany today, but that doesn't really matter to the Americans or the crypto market. Solana is still kind of lagging behind a bit, if you can put it that way. There aren't any real impulses at the moment. And, yeah, I'm not going to do anything for now anyway. We're holding the ranges, that's the most important thing, but otherwise, not much is happening for me. The only long options are still down here, and short options are up here starting from 192 to 195 US dollars, but nothing has changed there. Let's move on to the traditional markets. Gold. Gold has now reached our long zone. The problem with the whole thing, well, I mean, not really a problem, but the long zone is definitely in play. The problem with the whole thing is that tariffs could now somewhat solve the issue. Still, we have the inflation numbers coming out tomorrow. If those come in a bit higher, that could definitely give gold a boost. But for now, the target zone has been reached. The long area was triggered, and with that, the long entry as well. For me, a stop loss to choose, if you've entered here, let's say, would be an idea below 3,200 US dollars. That means, below this 4-hour demand zone is support, and then we'll see what happens. The target is definitely up here again at 3,400 or 3,500 US dollars, which would also mean a new all-time high. So, target zone reached, great. BTC is great and Ethereum is great too, that fits. Alright, let's move on. Let's see, what else do we have here? DEX. For me, after take profit 1, DEX hit the stop loss, got stopped out. I'm not doing anything with it anymore. That thing can kiss my butt, I'm done with it. I don't care. For now, I'm not going to do anything else with it. Just wait and watch. Let's move over to the Dow Jones. What's happening there? Yesterday was still positive, I'd say, a nice pump upwards. That could now, thanks to the strong Nvidia numbers, push the entire market up for now. I've already mentioned it in the past few days, especially with the Nasdaq. The numbers from Nvidia could now lead us to just blast right through toward a new all-time high, making the alternative with the gap down here irrelevant for now, and globally. We might see new all-time highs everywhere before we eventually see a correction at some point. But for now, I see this as positive. I'm now expecting a new all-time high everywhere before we see a correction. At some point there's going to be a hit. It'll come sooner or later, but probably only after we're above the all-time high and everyone's saying, wow, everything is so bullish, it's so bullish, and then we'll say, okay, A, B, and then C, a complete crash downward. That would be the plan right now, if you tie it in a bit with Elliott waves and so on, but yeah. Let's see what happens, and of course, that also goes for the S&P 500. Same game. Unfortunately, we didn't get back down into the golden pocket here, but oh well, the next target here is also the all-time high. Last but not least, the euro against the US dollar almost, really almost, hit our entry point here. You can see it down here, we just blasted right through. That was, around lunchtime, and there was no entry in sight for me since it all happened too quickly. My main scenario is still, like I've been saying over the past few days, $1, €1.12, and I'd really like to reach that, possibly later this morning. It would fit nicely if we go up a bit here, then drop down, form a double bottom, and then take off. For me, the upward movement is definitely still intact overall. The short-term alternative would be to fill this gap here and then take off upwards, maybe hitting toward 115, possibly even 120. Let's wait and see. But as I said, because of everything that's been happening in Japan again, since they're probably not going to raise interest rates for now, there will continue to be cheap yen and all that. That could mean that the euro might even drop a bit further, because the dollar, on the other hand, and we can take a quick look at that, has been pumped up significantly because of all this. So, they like that. It means the carry trade can keep running for a bit longer, and so on and so forth. But alright, let's just wait and see for now. Today doesn't look bad at all. I'm expecting a positive day today, Bitcoin, crypto, stocks, and then it's time to start being a bit cautious. We'll talk about the rest, especially altcoins, tonight during the live stream at 7 p.m. on YouTube. I'd be happy if you guys join in. I'll post the link in the Telegram groups later, and otherwise, that's it from my side. I wish you a happy Father's Day if you're celebrating. I'm not celebrating it myself. And otherwise, we'll catch up in the Telegram group or tonight at 7 p.m. during the live stream. I'm looking forward to it. Until then, bye-bye, and as always, stay crypt.